the boss. It's the battle of the undefeated Team Vitality versus Geltek.
They also have stuck with their very own identity throughout this entire tournament, and not a lot of teams have found their way around that, if not really struggled up against Geltek. But if there's one thing we know, Vitality too have shown some cracks in their armor. They're more prone to the longer games, so I wonder if Geltek can afford to do the same against the quote-unquote team to beat.
Yeah, that's what I'm interested in as well. I mean, I didn't get to personally witness it on a stream or cast that game when they decided to whip out the EWC in the first place, but it's absolutely correct. It does work as a secondary carry with the help of the true damage. Now, luckily, they've actually made sure that EWC is a little bit more auto attack reliant to get his damage out. But that's where the curiosity comes through, because when I'm looking at the side of Vitality, as much as I love the fact that they've got Fatal Links, there's just so many, like, quote-unquote micro CCs to deal with. Your CC immunity is like great, but there's a limit to it.
Yeah, and how could they really time these engages as well? Because I feel like GCT has a very melee type of lineup who really just wants you to close in on their opponents. Might just be willing to fight you directly instead of them trying to find a workaround around, let's say, the angles or potential entries. So let's see what the timings are going to look like, because even now you're seeing how Ginny's not having the best experience in the mid lane.
Yeah, I mean, that's not surprising to anybody. It's, yes, you will always get that first move, so what? What can we do about this? And now, at least from GCT's perspective, you know what? Since we do get that first move, let us at least try and contest for some of these smaller camps on the side, whether for EXP Crab or even Gold Crab. Ideally EXP this time around, because they want to make sure that their junglers stay ahead of the game. EWC, he needs those levels on top of those items, but if you don't have the gold, at least get the levels.
Yep, and there's a bit of help now for Fumi Echo coming in from Vival, but Quejo will be there too to anticipate the rotations. At least they got their level 4s already. They will both be ready for this upcoming turtle, but it's currently just Vivian to hold it down. Oh, wait, Fumi Echo actually gets bursted down. That's a first blood for Geltek Cyber team on the EXP laner.
That was a little weird. They didn't get the ult, but now they're going to look for the contest, and now the fight breaks out. City in trouble!
All alone in that moment, and the Fatal Links copied by Geltek. But Vival actually the ones who are able to secure the first objective. Can she get out of this? The taunt won't actually make it. Fumi Echo jumping in. There she goes, but Geltek might not want to commit to this fight anymore.
And they don't have to. And just look at the positioning of Luban on this Paquito, right? It's really important for Paquito into the Freya matchups to not think, hey, I'm here to kill the Freya. If she makes a mistake, sure, but 90% of the time it looks like this.
Yeah.
You lose her abilities and she's beating you down the lane.
Oh, Chell got to dodge that taunt coming in as well. Potentially another advantage for Geltek, because so far they've already gotten some sort of advantage in the XP lane. Gold lane 2 is looking like they're starting to put a bit more attention there.
It's the perfect amount. It's not enough to completely dominate, but to make the lane obsolete with the help of that first kill going off to Luban. Man, Festival of Blood already active. You're getting a lot more spell vamp. So no matter how bad the trade is, as long as there's a fat wave coming to your side, first item War Axe as well, there's no way they can make that happen.
And there's nothing interrupting Geltek from doing what they want to do across the map. Like, Kyo is just able to accomplish the farming that you really would want to get in for the EWC. Vitality, on the other hand, it's more of like us expecting the more proactive approach from them this time around, but at the same time, Geltek just don't seem like the best targets to do so. Cleaving App's already committed. Rather try and forced out from Quejo, but Vivian's already very low to look for anything further.
There was a moment there, but both sides, it's like the Wild Wild West. You're waiting for that bell to drop. And once it hits clock hits 12, they're going to start unleashing shots at each other. It's so dangerous, because you can see that whoever accidentally uses their ult first is probably going to lose that fight. But even so, without the Axe Cleave, KOA has no clean entry to get on into these neutral objectives. And that's something that we have to keep in mind here. KOA has a lot of things to worry about, so they need other people. Ideally, maybe the Belleric. I would say maybe even bait with Luban on this Paquito to try and get the first motion from Vitality.
Yep, so it doesn't all come down to them being scattered by Fumi Echo, also just surprising them through the entry to the factory descent. But as it's looking right now, Conceal's already coming in for Geltek. They're on to Vival, but they decide to change targets. It's actually Vivian right now looking for one. She tries to set up two, but the Purify is actually going to be available. But Vivian is actually just bursted down, both with the damage coming in from Tokyo. There goes the Retribution from Kyoei securing the objective, but they are going to lose Tokyo in the process. It's Fumi Echo trying to get trades. Double kill for her, and that's the disengage.
Communication is starting to break down here. Paquito ended up chasing away City, but finding the kill eventually here. And that's the important thing. They're still getting these trades, but I think the better decision this time around was actually to still peel back. You cannot afford your win conditions, that late game scaling and true damage from Kyoei to go to waste. And the same can be said about Tokyo. So both of them have to be the ones remaining. Everybody else is dispensable.
Yeah, I thought it would have been really bad because Vivian was literally trying to go right in front of their face despite her already being shredded down. And mind you, it's just 6 minutes into this game, but you already have to see the amount of damage that Geltek are able to do. These are just basic attacks we're talking about, but oh, even Chell is struggling by just a bit. Crimson Beacon in! SOD will land onto Liubon. Does Vivian want to go for the setup? Doesn't have the Fatal Links, and now it's just going to be Quejo. But even then, she's also going to be able to escape.
And finally, a moment to get that breather in. That's the thing, right? When you are so close to the grand finals, a simple mistake could just be due to desperation or just getting a little overly excited. They have to stay in the perfect median. As we see Fumi Echo trying her best to clear this wave. She was willing to put her body on the line for a tier 1.
It's like she even skipped the minions and literally went forward, but that wasn't enough to really push Geltek out of the turret. So now they're able to at least get trades up top because I feel like that's also something they saw coming. But so far, Geltek, it's a surprising way that they're able to deal with Vitality in the early game.
And I love the fact that they're so hyperactive. They're not allowing Vitality to have that moment to be like, okay, let's look at the information, dissect it, and then come up with a plan. GCT, they're in your face. You make the choice now. Whether it's good or bad, at least make a choice.
And look at where they're positioned. Currently, the control they've shown in the river is insane. It's Vitality who we're seeing struggling to actually get control of majority of the map.
Look at this, with the lead developed by Luba on this Paquito, that top side already cleared out. Chell just gets the golden stat, but it's really not going to be enough. Chell kind of far behind here, and Vitality, they're trying to slow down this turtle take.
Yeah, at this point, they're just really trying to mirror, but Cine very low now on the Jusin with just some punches here and there from Liubon and the pokes from Sonchke. Vival, how is she even going to find the right entry? Sonchke taking the Fatal Links as well. Fumi Echo does have the Valkyrie Descent, but it's Vival who wins on the Retribution. Vivian just trying to get away. City 2 very low on HP, but Sonchke finds the trade on Fumi Echo. City will have to go down. It's a 1v1 right now between Liubon and Chell, but Chell might not want to fight anymore. There is going to be some respo from GCT.
I think it's something back at the least, but they connected, and Sonchke almost one auto attack. No, Chell gets out with a flicker just in time.
So close. Vitality are being forced into these positions by GCT, and who could have imagined seeing this outcome heading into this matchup?
The best way to explain how GCT is playing, it's all about tempo. They are the ones setting the pace of the game. Vitality merely react to it every single time because GCT, they're lining up the questions. Hey, how are you going to deal with our split push on top side when our neutral objective is up? How are you going to deal with 2-item Paquito already setting themselves up really, really good? Even Alla's 2 items as well.
Their ability to kite is insane. The way that Vitality seem to always be ready for at least a potential engage, but every single time, look at Cine. Majority of the time, she has to go through the worst positionings just because of how GCT are dealing with the team fights. And they almost are the ones mirroring what GCT are doing.
Almost. Like, it's close, but not far enough. And that's where Kyoei is super dangerous, right? That Wrath of the Dryads, as much as we hate Fatal Links and how you can't really react to it, the same can sort of be said about the Wrath of the Dryads as a counter-engage tool when you're so deep in that sauce. And not everybody has anti-CC here. Vival, doesn't really matter. As long as you survive, that's great. But Cine, in particular, with no Purify and only taking Sprint, it's a risky gamble. But at the same time, if Vitality can dodge those ults, they can chase them down like right now.
Okay, but Quejo will be very tanky to deal with. And Vitality are always forced to send someone to their sides just because of what Liubon has been doing across the map. It's a 3-0 Paquito who is just slightly ahead of her counterpart, and that's Fumi Echo, but the burst on Vivian! The roamer's down for Vitality even before the Lord.
A beautiful piece of chain CC. Quayo just played that perfectly. I mean, what can I really say about that? Oh, I know!
Cine doesn't have the sprint, or maybe she just used it, but it's also not enough. Kyoe just has her eyes set on the Lord as Coelho and Liubon deny Vitality of any contest.
Beautiful game so far, but this is their style. GCD, early to mid, just nasty stuff, and they're still trying their hardest to crack open this mid-tier 1. The floodgates open. As soon as mid-tier 1 opens up, the rest of this jungle becomes a lot easier to start fights against Vitality.
Yeah, Vival is definitely not going to be able to freely do what she wants anymore, but I think it's not just on Vival that we really have to pay attention to anymore. It's how Chell and Cine are almost shut down in their individual lanes. Fumi Echo, I think there were some attempts here and there, but even then, not even Fumi Echo is able to open up as much for Vitality.
Yeah, I already think that it's a mistake that Cine had to take the sprint this time round, and unfortunately the laning phase did not go the way they were hoping for, but at the same time, as long as they can scale towards the later half of the game, like Chell right now really needs to get those 3 items down. We endless battle as Kyoe is in pretty strong shape. I don't think there's a lot of people who can 1v1 her right now. I think even arguably Fumihiko, without her vengeance, will lose to Kyoe as of this point.
It's a killing spree too that you actually see on the Olo, so I think the longer the fights, as long as there won't be any direct burst, which I don't think you're seeing from Vitality, Kyoe is pretty much gonna be okay. Like, she could just keep throwing out these high mobility skills and basic attacks to survive, but can she do that against 3, even with additional layers of crowd control? As of the moment, she actually is able to, even in the face of a Valkyrie descent.
All right, let's pull up the item list. Last time we checked 3 items, like, excuse me? Excuse me? That was all it took to deal with 3 members? As Vival just isn't too far behind. Wait, do they have enough to anti-heal? Wait, let me just double check this. Cine has the glowing wand. I don't see anybody else with anti-heal at this point of time. So there's only 1 applicator of anti-heal.
Yeah, that was insane. You already used a Fatal Link. Oh, here you go. It's another Fatal Link though, but this time on the other side, taking down City for the 4th time in a row. Vivian flickering out just to survive. There's no one stopping this Olus from Kyoe.
They're making it real tough, and now they also net themselves an inhibitor tower. Beautifully done by GCT.
Vitality are not even gonna look for a fight there. At least they sent Fumi Echo up top to somehow manage and trade, but it's not enough. It's a 7k goal lead already in favor of GCT, and Chell had to prioritize the Wind of Nature more than the damage.
I think right now the biggest issue is the fact that GCT really took advantage of the miscoordination of the mid trio specifically, right? Like, Cine has been taking a lot, so much so, and I would have imagined that the mid duo at least would be communicating more with each other to be able to like peel one off of the other, but they have completely separate roles in the team fights.
Yeah, and it's not the best of hero synergies either. Seeing an Atlas alongside the Jusin, but right now Geltek are just exposing so much more of the weaknesses of Vitality and Tokyo. My goodness, Vivian had to pick up an Immortality after that.
Hey, true damage is already in, and the Trinity build is done. Currently with a 7.4k lead, GCT. This Lord, if they can figure out a way to end it right here after this push, that would be the most perfect time for GCT.
That's going to be a statement. It's going to be a statement right there. Valkyrie descent out from Fumi Echo, but I think they are going to try and chase. Kyoe is just too quick to move with this Aulus. Quecho will be there too. Doesn't have the Wrath of Dryad, but it's enough. Fumi Echo could not regroup with Vitality.
If there's one thing that Aulus is particularly good at, other than just dealing true damage and auto-attacking, it's chasing his targets. And I think most people tend to forget that. They think that he's just a traditional bruiser. No, he's kind of alpha-esque, except he just sticks on you.
Yep, alongside damage too.
Alongside damage. I mean, both do. It's true damage, you know? Your stats don't matter when the bar is white, I suppose. But even so, with the Lord now about to crash into their base, this base defense is going to look a little rough.
Yeah, a lot of their wave clear is just going to be from Chell, who's currently doing a lot of catching up, already prioritizing just the Wind of Nature just to survive, but Does GCT force the fight? Quejo trying to close in. Already half HP though. Leaving axe coming in from KOA. Gets pushed back by the Fear of Misery, but Echo from the sides trying to go in with the Valkyrie Descent. Vival somehow still alive. Popping the immortality, but the center from Gen.G! And now it's a Maniac from Tokyo, but they don't care about the Savage!
It's not about the ego, it's about closing out this game.